What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick,
I'm Jeff Christopher.
and welcome to episode number 43 of Vinyl Bang.
Vital bang, motherfucker. VB. I can't do
Indeed.
it right.
Uh, today's episode, Viewer's Choice number 6, once again submitted by our great, amazing friend, Mr. Alex Shaw of Pig Destroyer. But before we start this episode, I have to make mention that to this past weekend, Jeff and I had probably one of the coolest weekends that wasn't a Maryland Death Fest. I flew out to Chicago where Jeff picked me up, and we went and saw Pig Destroyer, Red Chord, See You Next Tuesday, and then the next night drove to Detroit and saw the same show, and it was quite honestly one of the best fucking times I've had in quite some time. And I just wanted to thank those bands and also Jeff and Melanie for making that this entire weekend possible.
Yeah, it was fun, dude. Going to Chicago and eating the food, going to Kuma's and getting a deep dish, and then, dude, even in Detroit, the fucking brewery across the street from the venue, that burger I had, man, that was good.
Shout out to that place was called Kegger. I had a really good burger in there too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
shout out to that
Topper
place.
Kegger or something.
Kegger is what the name of it was. It was right across the street from the Crowfoot in Detroit. That place was awesome.
Yeah, place was awesome for sure.
And we got to meet our good friend James Watson. That was awesome.
Yes. Finally getting to meet James. James has been a big time or a long time fan of the show for the last 3 or 4 years. As long as we've been doing this, James has been a big supporter. Is always very enthusiastic about episodes and getting to meet him and his wife on the weekend of their anniversary, no less.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was fun getting to hang out with James and of course our good friends in Pig Destroyer.
There you go.
Got some new threads from the shows. Yeah, dude, that was fun getting to hang out with the Red Chord, the Red Chord guys really well. I have kind of had brushes with them over the years. Charn I know really well, but like getting to meet and hang out with Mike, especially from our episode a couple episodes back, and getting to meet Guy and Greg, and just it was fun fucking weekend, especially the guys at Pig Destroyer, AJ, Scott, JR, all of them. It was a blast. And Travis and just Chaw. Especially Chaw, our mysterious Ghost Rider. Without him, we wouldn't have content to have episodes about.
Yeah, no, Chaw, I love that dude to death. Like he had a really cool thing to say to you and me that we're going to keep between the three of us. But that was awesome at the end of the tour. I love that guy. It was great. He's one of my oldest friends, and it was great seeing him in the middle of the country doing his thing now and doing his new gig. So thank you again to everybody. That was an incredible weekend. Beyond, like I said, it was it breaks my heart that I got to go back to work tomorrow, but that's life. That's how it works. But let's
work
not
hard, play hard.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That's what it was. That's a great example of it this past weekend. So yeah, let's not waste any more of our time here. We got 7 topics and quite a few new records to talk about. So Jeff, we're going to start this first one off. The first topic, Vinyl Bang, favorite misprint.
Vinyl Bang, favorite misprint. Okay, so one of the very first misprints that I ever noticed, that I believe it was brought to my attention by Nick, actually, that one of the very first misprints of my knowledge in my collection was from a band called Intronaut for their very first OG press of Valley of Smoke from 2010 on Mercenary Management Century Media Records. This particular pressing has I'll take it out of the jacket. I don't know if you can see that.
Pull it up a little closer. Closer. There it is.
Valerie. Vallery. It's not.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's
showing up very well. Valerie of Smoke.
Yeah.
There's an R in here. Instead of Valley, like on the cover, it says Valley, like it's supposed to be. But on the spine, it says Valerie.
Yes.
Of Smoke. So, it indeed a misprint, but awesome to have. and then they repressed this a couple
They
of years
did.
ago, right? Yeah.
They absolutely did. Yeah, I bought one, and I'm pretty sure it's somewhere still on my shelf. But yeah, I have that and the misprint one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to those guys. I think they're all autographed too. I made a fool out of myself. I was like, here, guys, sign these. So
I have a couple signed Internet records. I can't remember what they are, but yeah, great band, great fucking band, dude.
awesome.
Love Internet.
Yeah, absolutely. Words can't explain how good that fucking band is.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, all right, I got a weird one to show you. It's a band that I talked about a couple episodes back. The band is called Darkest Hour, and the name of this album is called Deliver Us. But put that on the ground. Look, as you can tell, Mr. John Dyer Baisley did the artwork for this. Came out in 2007. I think there were like 4 or 5 bands that came out that year that had artwork by John. The album is not printed anywhere on the cover. They left it that way, other than just their title. But the name of the album is Deliver Us. But on the spine, I don't know where it is. Somewhere up here. It's hard to read.
Yeah, it is really fucking hard to read. It's like an all over print.
Kind of. All right, there's his Darkest Hour. And then fuck. Somewhere in here it says Undoing Ruin, which is not the name of this album.
Huh. Yeah,
there it is.
There it is, right there.
Undoing Ruin.
Undoing Ruin. Wow.
The album is called Deliver Us. This album is Undoing Ruin. So a weird mistake by you guessed it, Victory Records. They're just notorious, I guess. I think I talked about it in the self-titled one where I talked about Between the Buried and Me.
Between.
Yeah. And that was a Victory Records boo-boo there, because they I guess they don't quality check in the factory there or over there at the good old Victory Records,
Jeez.
But
come on, guys.
Yeah, seriously. But moving on. Shout out to Darkest Hour, by the way. I love that band. Mike Schleibaum, John Henry. Who else is in the band right now? I forgot. Yeah. Shout out to Tito. I love Tito. Tito is my homie. Love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Real quick, moving on, because we got a lot to talk about in this episode. Moving on, next topic. On the road again. Favorite out of town record purchase. And then we're supposed to discuss how you transport it back home. And I'm actually going to give Jeff the floor here, because he was the one who taught me this trick. I'm sure he's going to talk about it.
So one of the things that I was always concerned about whenever I would fly to cities for shows is that, being an avid vinyl collector, you always want to go to record stores and, check out different record stores in the area. And I forgot where I come up with this concept, but this particular scenario, Ian McDonald, the owner of Sick Drummer Magazine, and I flew to Orlando, or somewhere in Florida. I don't even remember where it was. Somewhere in Florida for a DW convention in Florida. And while we were there, we checked out a couple record stores, and I'm like, dude, I really don't want to take records home on flights, because I flew to San Diego a couple years before this, and I bought Tool Undertow on vinyl, and I put it in my backpack as like my carry-on. And whenever I put it under the seat, it bent the corner of the cover of the album. I was just like, dude, I don't want to tear up any more records, so I don't want to fly with it, So whenever we got to the record store in Florida, I said, if I buy this record, I said, would you be able to ship it home to me? And they were like, sure, we can do that. So my preferred way to fly and buy records is to very politely ask the record store if they can mail it back to you. And I've had scenarios where they won't do it unless you order online and blah, blah, blah. But if this is an option, this is absolutely the way to go. I've done this with Amoeba Records in Los Angeles and, several other places. If you ask them if they will mail the record home to you, that's the way to go. The particular record that I'm talking about that I bought on this flight was Megadeth Dystopia. This album is really fucking good. Like, I fell out of Megadeth for a long time. I fell out of them after, I think, around Euthanasia. Like, they kind of lost me, and I didn't really pay attention for a long time. This album definitely got me back into Megadeth, and I went back in their back catalog and checked out a bunch of their older shit. But Chris Adler's involvement in this album is what really, really made me want to listen to this. And solid album. And everything, the album after this, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, again, phenomenal album. I saw Megadeth live a couple of weeks ago. Phenomenal band live. Their new drummer, Dirk Verburen, is a monster behind the kit. More to come on that later. But yeah, Megadeth Dystopia is the first record that I had sent home to me via mail from the record store. So that's my preferred way to travel and buy records. Or you can just have your friend do
it. All right. Yeah, like Jeff was saying, last year I went out to St. Louis to visit him, and same deal. We walked into Planet Score, which Jeff was hyping up pretty hard, and we got these. I bought these two Beastie Boys bootlegs while I was out there. This one from a Japanese show in 1992 that was, I guess it was like a radio broadcast. I don't know. Yeah, live radio broadcast from Kawasaki, Japan, September 19th, 1992. And then this one right here, which was St. Gallen Festival in Switzerland, 1998 FM broadcast. This one sounds like absolute garbage. I'm not a big fan of the audio on this one. This one sounds amazing. Pretty cool set list as well on this one. But yeah, when we got to Planet Score, Jeff mentioned that, and they absolutely shipped this to me. And actually, when we were just out in Chicago, I bought a couple records, and unfortunately, we lost track of time, and we just we weren't able to hit a post office. So Jeff is kind enough to ship me back my records. I gotta send you some money on that. I forgot about that, but yeah.
I'm glad we talked about this. By the way.
Oh, it's not like I'm having you ship me $1 million worth of shipping stuff, but yeah, I will get you on that. But yeah, that's my preferred way too, having it shipped back home. Like I could have stuffed it in my suitcase again because I brought these boxes with me, so we wouldn't have to scour for them or anything. And luckily, my name was already on the label and all that good jazz. So yeah. Hopefully in a future episode I'll have those records to talk about here.
They will be in the mail tomorrow, promptly Monday morning, Monday noon-ish, maybe in the afternoon before they close on Monday. Another thing about having your records shipped to you, who doesn't like getting records in the mail? Right? I mean, it's fun. It's like it's that I forget what it's called. The excitement that you get, the endorphins or whatever, that you get, like, oh, a package of records, awesome, that I already bought and paid for.
No, for sure. For sure. All right, moving on. Next topic. Ross the Boss. Not talking about our ex Final Bang guest Ross.
Not Ross the Bar, but he is the boss.
He is a boss. Yes, absolutely he is. We are talking about new metal legend Ross Robinson, who produced a lot of awesome records, and not just new metal, but other stuff, but stuff outside the new metal genre. I'm trying to say. I know he did like Norma Jean and oh man, Amen. Quite a few bands. I know there's more that I'm losing track of, but At the Drive-In. But Jeff, what did you pick?
I learned something today. I did some research on this topic about albums that Ross Robinson has produced. What? Ross Robinson produced the debut album from Dead Cross. I did not know this. I was dumbfounded and ecstatic whenever I heard this. But yeah, I get to talk about Dead Cross on an episode of Vinyl Bang. So Another punch in the Mike Patton card. Maybe we can get Mike Patton on the show one of these days. Dead Cross also features Justin Pearson from the owner of 31G Records that we had on the show. Fuck, it feels like a long time ago, like 10 episodes ago, maybe. It's been a while, but yeah, Justin, like, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a few episodes. We've been doing this for a long time, Nick.
Hold on, I can tell you. Episode 29.
14 episodes ago, we had Mr. Justin Pearson on the show, and he is the bassist for aforementioned band Dead Cross.
Also,
yeah,
Justin was one of my favorite guests. He talked a lot of cool stuff about his record label.
Absolutely, Justin was a lot of fun. That was one of our, at the time, our most technically challenged episode ever.
Before today. Before recording this episode.
Before today, yeah. This is take 2 on this episode. For those of you who don't know the behind the scenes story. And one of these days, there will be a like VH1 Behind the Blow episode of Vinyl Bang. For you South Park fanatics at home that got that reference. Yeah. Ross Robinson produced Dead Cross, and this is just picked a random pressing. This is the first press, gold press. Love this album. Dead Cross is the I flew to see Dead Cross in Baltimore back in, was it 17? Whenever I flew out to Baltimore.
2017, you're right. September
2017, and Nick and Blake Harrison picked me up from the airport, or picked me up at the hotel. Like I had to take an Uber back to the hotel, but went to see Dead Cross with Nick and our good friend Blake. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Blake.
Yeah, we went to see Dead Cross, and I got to meet Mike Patton that night. It was the greatest night of my life. Got to meet my hero. So thank you, Dead Cross. Great album, great band. Great Grindstopher.
That was an awesome night. That's an awesome album.
Yeah.
I had a blast, and Dead Cross, that record's really fucking cool.
You bought a copy that night, right?
Yeah, I pre-ordered a copy, and then I bought the one at the show, and then I think you ended up giving me the one that you bought at the show because you already had it.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I bought it and gave you the copy because I already had it.
Yes. So now I have all the first pressings of that first album. Okay, my one of my pick is it was pretty simple because like this guy produced a lot of albums when I was a teenager of bands that I liked a lot personally, but the one album that always comes to mind when I think about Ross Robinson is Korn, Life is Peachy. This is just such a fucking amazing record. I remember having that Who Then Now home video, and Ross was talking a lot about, I guess they were showing clips of them recording from this album on there, but this is a deep, dark album for Korn, I guess. After this, they put out Follow the Leader, and they really blew the fuck up from there. But this was the one that really like stood out to me. I remember hearing their first one when I was a freshman in high school, and then I heard this one when I was a sophomore, and I really dug a lot of these songs: Twist, Cheap, Porno Creep, Mr. Rogers, Wicked, Adidas, Kill You. Some deep dark songs on this album, and this is a favorite one of mine. This isn't any cool pressing. It's just the music on vinyl pressing, so nothing special about it. But yeah, Korn was a big deal to me when I was a teenager. I think I was at the right age where when this album came out, at least I was at the right age for people who like stuff like this. And Ross Robinson did an amazing job on this album. I mean, like.
For sure.
If there's anything, if there's I always thought if there was a definitive new metal album that everybody should have wanted to sound like, it was this one right here.
Agreed. Yeah.
Nope. Drunk at the switchboard there tonight. Not drunk.
Damn.
Hey, you've got controls here too, pal. You can.
I do. I forgot I have controls now.
Yeah, you can control yourself after these when you're done talking, so I don't interrupt you here. Okay.
I can. I can go back to the double thing now whenever I'm done talking. I don't have to wait for you to do it.
Huh?
I wonder if I can mute you. I wonder if I can change you to a woman. I wonder.
I just muted
Hey,
Jeff.
no, muting me. Come on.
All right.
On.
Next topic. Next topic. We all screen for nice screens. Favorite screen printed cover. Whew, mouthful. Cha, you're these topic titles are just ridiculous. But
they are a bit much sometimes. But now that I have the floor, I am going to be taking applications for a new Vinyl Bank co-host. That doesn't kick me off the show. Screen printed covers. I am going to go with Ken Mode Venerable. Man, this is a good album. I mean, The Book of Muscle, Obeying the Iron Will, The Irate Jumbuck, Never Was. Dude, never fucking was. Such a good album. Ken Mode Venerable, they did I don't know what the story is behind this. I don't know why they did a screen print. I don't know if they just had like 100 copies. They did 100 copies, 100 screen prints on a brown marble, which is a really, really cool brown marble pressing. 50 of these were released on Init Records on their website, and Ken Mode took 50 of them on tour. I bought this from Ken Mode on tour. I forget. I think it was in St. Louis. I want to say it was at Fubar whenever I bought this particular pressing, but I can't remember where I saw Ken Mode. Huge fan of Ken Mode. I really, really love this band. I've seen them numerous times throughout the years. We need to see about getting either Shane or Jesse on the show one of these days. I might have to make some calls to see about getting them on the show because I'm sure those guys collect vinyl. Anyway, Ken Mode, Venerable, awesome album, awesome screen print, and look at this. I don't have to wait for Nick anymore. Awesome.
oh,
cool. I'm done talking.
hell yeah. Yeah, Ken Mode. I know you love that band. We have conversations about them a lot because I always forget their name. But but yeah, cool. Yeah, let's get one of them or some of them on the show. I think they're brothers, right?
Yes, they are brothers. And have you listened to it? Like, dude, I had the perfect opportunity this weekend to show you Ken Mode, and I didn't.
Mm-hmm. You made me listen to your work playlist.
I did. And Humphreys McGee and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I had to, not a lot like being at my regular job. I had to listen to Taylor Swift, but my favorite screen printed cover I'm going to go with is the Acacia Strain. This album is called Slow Decay. Oh, damn, I cannot remember the year this came out. 2020. Yeah. This was a quarantine release. As you can kind of see, this is their logo with some flowers and whatnot around it. This is a hand numbered copy, number 49 of 200. It came with a slip mat of the album screen print cover. Boom. This is what the actual album art looks like. Kind of. There was like a series of 7 inches, and then they just released it on a 12-inch. I think I shared.
Oh yeah. You talked about that in the 7-inch episode, and I had asked if they had done an actual 12-inch pressing of that. Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, that is. It's a cool splatter. I think I have another just regular pressing of this, but yeah, the Acacia Strain, they don't fuck around when it comes to the vinyl releases. They really do cool shit, and sometimes they even do surprise albums, which I fucking love that. But yeah, this was a cool screen print. I got a couple screen prints around here, and that one stood out to me as probably the one I want to talk about the most because I love this band. They're fucking awesome people.
Sure.
And yeah, there it is. Put that down somewhere. All right. Staying on topic here. Ooh, this is a cool one. Get Off My Lawn, the oldest release that you own.
Yeah. All right. So the oldest pressing for the oldest album that I own is from 1970. Hold on, let me pull this up and make sure. 1974. 5 years before I was born. 10, 20 years before I was born. I'm not that fucking old. Maybe the oldest album in my collection comes from Black Sabbath. It is the 1974 album Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Easily, not even arguably. I mean, just like one of the pioneers of the stoner doom metal movement, godfathers in the stoner doom metal genre. What an album! What an album! It is not my favorite Black Sabbath album, but it is in fact a great album with hits such as Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, A Natural Act of Rack, Sabra Cadabra, Killing Yourself to Live, Spiral Architect. I mean, just great album. There's a price tag on the back for $15, which that is not what the record store charged me. I paid a little bit more than $15, but the place that I bought this from, like, they always put a piece of paper, like, indicating what actual pressing it is, and I can't find that for the life of me. I don't know where the hell this indicator is, but it was the record store in O'Fallon, Nick. I don't know if you remember that we drove over. It's the record store next to Pantera's Pizza.
Okay.
You remember that place, that record store? I don't think we went into it. But yeah, that was where I picked up this copy of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Great album with the insert, original 1974 pressing. Very happy to own this. Look at that. Now we're both on the screen. I don't have to wait for you. I love this. Love this.
One day you're gonna come back and you're gonna catch me like stuffing my face full of food.
Hey, whatever. Good.
No, that's awesome. I like that. That's really cool. But I also wanted to comment that I absolutely hate that when you buy a record that's got the OG price sticker on it, and then you're buying it for like twice that amount, and you're just like, the fuck, motherfucker, rip that shit off at least.
Right.
You
well,
know?
I mean, it's kind of cool, and I very seriously doubt that this thing went for $15 in 1974. Somebody probably paid $3 for this in 1970. You know what I'm saying? Like that was put on there at a later time. It even says CD Reunion, and I think that's one of the affiliates for the record store we were at, like one of the subsidiary sister stores or whatever. But yeah, I don't remember what I paid for it, but definitely wasn't $15. But yeah, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Yeah, man, great record. All right, moving on. Let me. I'm gonna burn through this one real quick because it's just the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This album came out in 1967. I'm not gonna lie to you folks. When I was a little kid, my father used to listen to the Beatles. He was the biggest Beatles fan in the world, and I remember a lot him playing this album a lot, and the song "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds" was a big one that always stood out to me. This album was what really made me fall in love with music, basically. Is just far back as I can remember. I used to pull the CD off my dad's shelf and put it in the CD player, and that was I remember how to figure out how to learn how his stereo worked. But this is a great album. One of my favorite songs of all time is "A Day in the Life." It's the last song on this album.
Yeah.
There's just from start to finish, this is a great album. This is the 50th anniversary pressing. This came out in I guess 2017. But yeah, this is a cool fucking record. There's nothing special about it other than it is a standard black vinyl. I think it's like 210 grams. This thing weighs a lot, but yeah, I remember as a kid just reading this, the liner notes and everything, looking at it. There's like a little secret track at the end. I think if you play it backwards, they're saying something. But yeah, the Beatles. I know a lot of people don't like them. I don't give a fuck. This is what really started music for me, and this is probably the oldest release that I own. It's a re-release, but it's one of the oldest albums, at least that I own in my collection.
Mm-hmm. I don't own Sgt. Pepper's. The only Beatles album I own is the White Album. But I mean, again, Beatles fan. I don't care. I know people are either love them or hate them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're great.
Beatles for sure, and that Sgt. Pepper's is a great album.
It is. It's amazing. And I like the White Album is, I guess, like the earlier greatest hits, all the from the early days. And then there's a Red Album and a Blue Album, right? That's what the White Album is.
The red and blue are greatest hits. The White Album is an actual like it's its own thing.
Oh, it's
It
okay.
has nothing to do with red, white, and blue. It has nothing.
It's not a
Yeah.
greatest hits.
No.
Okay, then I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I am just a poser. Moving on. The I'm trying to transition as best I can out of that failed information.
Backpedaling.
Keys to a great record. Favorite band that has a keyboard player in it. I knew as soon as I read this what you were picking.
Is it a keyboard player on stage or is it a keyboard player? Keyboard player in the band. We'll just leave it at that. Keyboard player in the band. Again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you listening at home, people that are Beatles fans, I am looking for a new co-host who knows Beatles stuff. As far as keyboard players, I have to go with Faith No More. I mean, easily my favorite band in the world. Absolute favorite band in the world. I get to showcase my original, my OG press from 1995 OG press of King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime. I scored this during the pandemic. I don't remember. It was on Discogs. I don't remember exactly where. But yeah, this was an OG / press of King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime, and it is absolutely one of my most cherished possessions. Love this album. This is the only album to feature Trey Spruance of Mr. Bungle on guitars. During the recording, like whenever they were doing the tour, they had a Dean Mintz on the tour. But yeah, this is a great album with songs such as The Gentle Art of Making Enemies, Cuckoo for Kaka, Ugly in the Morning, Digging the Grave, Take This Bottle, Just a Man. I mean, I just fucking such a great album. Not the best album from Faith No More, but it is absolutely in the top. How many albums did Patton do with them? 5, 6? I forget. But yeah, it's definitely in the top albums that Mike Patton did with Faith No More. Because, again, greatest band in the world in my eyes. Love Faith No More. And I'm starting to get Nick into them. Like whenever Nick was here last year, whenever he flew out for us to go see Metallica, I showed him the fact that Midlife Crisis sampled Car Thief.
Yep, that was awesome.
You're welcome.
Beastie Boys is what they sampled there.
And he got home, and he was telling me that he was listening to Angel Dust. So my work here is done.
Mike Patton, do our show.
Mike Patton, please do our show. I love you. Don't mute me, Nick.
Before I start my topic, I'm taking applications to replace my co-host, ladies and gentlemen. James and Charles, you're always asking me if to do fill-ins. So yes, we'll make that happen. I can delete this guy from the admin pretty soon. Moving on. My favorite band with a keyboardist is a band. I don't know if you want to call this keyboards or synthesizers, whatever it is, but I'm going to go with the band Rush. Rush, Hemispheres. This is by far my favorite album by Rush. This is it's only let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6 tracks. 6 tracks, but they're all very fucking long songs. There's Singus X1 Book 2, Hemispheres. Hemispheres, and then what is this after here? Okay. Then Circumstances, Trees, and La Villa Stragito. This is an incredible album. I know a lot of people fucking I don't know what you want to call it. I'm going to call it keyboards because he's got a whole setup up there. I know he plays synthesizers too, but Geddy Lee is fucking amazing. He plays bass and synth at the same time. But I love Rush. This is my favorite Rush album. People talk shit about Rush all you want. I don't give a fuck. Love this band. This record is cool. Look at that dude's ass. And there's some brains on the back. Their artwork has always been a little weird to me, but it makes sense to them. There it is. That's what it looks like. Yeah, Rush. They fucking rule. Yeah. And my co-host is disappearing off the screen because he doesn't. He's ready to be replaced.
Not ready to be replaced. I was trying to do so. Yeah, that failed miserably.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, if you want to call it Geddy Lee a keyboardist or not, but you know.
I don't know. I
this back in and I'll do it later.
No. It counts.
Yeah. All right. Final topic before we get into this onslaught of new records that we got to talk about. You Are So Beautiful to Me. I love this topic. This is a favorite record with a pretty lady who is not a band member on the cover.
As soon as we decided on this topic, I immediately knew what I was going to do. I was going to talk about Gridlink Longana. The model displayed here on the cover and a lot of other places on this artwork. Her name is Nea Dune. I know I'm mispronouncing it. Nea Dune. She has done a lot of modeling, a lot of acting, and she was in a movie of some sort. She was a background character for something like not too long after this album would come out. But she is featured a lot on this album. Like she is on the back cover, she is on the inserts, she is all over the artwork for this album, and I am not mad about it at all. Quite the eye candy, especially for listening to a grindcore album from Gridlink. Yeah, this woman is an absolute beauty. I mean, this woman is good looking woman, and we like that here at Vinyl Bang. I can say that since my wife's at work.
You better hope she don't watch this episode.
I'll make sure she doesn't ever see this episode. Don't you worry about that. This is the Grindstopper. And another cool thing about this particular copy, to kind of go off of a past topic. Look at this. Huh.
It's a clear.
Clear. Yeah, and ironically, there were 100 of these released by Self-Made God Records out of Europe. So, yeah, covered a couple topics in one. But yeah, Gridlink Longana. The model's name is Nea Dune. Beautiful artwork, beautiful album. Gridlink. Check it out if you haven't.
Hell yeah, buddy. Yeah, that's awesome. I've always seen that covers in places. I've never seen the rest of what she looks like. So that's awesome. Yeah, she's very beautiful.
Yes, she is.
So my choice for a pretty lady on a cover is a couple years ago. I was shopping in Philadelphia with our good buddy Loopy, and I came across a used record store and found Rat Out of the Cellar. And that beauty on the cover there is none other than Miss Tawny Kitaen, who she's most famously known for most people from the White Snake Here We Go Again on My Own video. That is her dancing around on that car and all that good junk. She's also in the Still of the Night music video. I think she was a lot hotter in that video. I bought this record years ago. You can see it's got a little promo cut in there. There's Rat on the back. Fucking Warren DeMartini. What a fucking awesome guitarist. Yeah. This band fucking rules. This has got some good songs on here. Wanted Man, You're in Trouble, Round and Round, In Your Direction, She Wants Money, Lack of Communication, Back for More, The Morning After, I'm Insane, and Scene of the Crime. I remember one time being in a record store with Blake, and he saw this, and he's like, you should get this. This is a Rat had their hands on her before David Cloverdale got his fucking old dirty hands on her. But I think I'm not saying. I mean, I remember making this comment that I'm about to say, but I was like, I think quite a few guys in the scene got their hands on her. She was passed around by quite a few dudes, but she was a very beautiful woman. I'm not going to sit here and talk bad of the ill. Tawny, rest in peace. She's awesome. Yeah. She was also in the movie Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. She was.
Yep. She was great in that fucking movie. But yeah, Tawny Kitaen, Rat Out of the Cellar. Rat, if you people don't know, is one of the coolest fucking hair metal bands. Probably the most talented of all the hair metal bands. I know Motley Crue is the biggest one, but if you sat down and listened to a Rat album, you'd be like, oh my god, like the song structure, like the guitar work. This was a really good fucking band. I think Rat had the best guitarist out of all the hair metal bands, and that would be Warren DeMartini. Shout out to him. Please be on our show. But yeah, that is my choice for Pretty Lady. Whoops, getting drunk on the keyboards tonight. According to this, I only paid $8.99 for it at the record store. But yeah, there it be.
I've dabbled in Rat. I was never a big fan, but I mean, I do appreciate a good Rat song whenever I hear it. I guess I've never really gotten that involved in Rat, but
no, for sure. I mean, like they're not for everybody. They were a dated band in the '80s. Hair metal was a thing, much like new metal was a thing in the '90s. Metalcore was, like whatever, deathcore. I think all this stuff is still alive, and people still support these bands. I thought they were, as far as like these bands, there was a handful of them. But I mentioned like Motley Crue, Poison, Cinderella, all of them. I think Rat had probably one of the more talented guitarist out of all those bands. But yeah, enough killing time. I know you got a lot of new records to talk about, Jeff. I'm going to let you take over the controls there with yourself and on the key, and let me know. Let's get into this because I'm excited to see what you got.
All right, so I'm going to start off by saying this record behind me right here is a present for my daughter, and this is like a Christmas present for my daughter. And this is a test to see whether or not she actually watches Vinyl Bang. And if she does watch the show, then she knows what she's getting for Christmas. And if she doesn't, then it'll still be a surprise. So it's kind of a test to see whether or not my daughter actually watches the show. Anyway, all right. I am going to start off with a couple of new things that I've acquired over this last trip that I took with Nick to Chicago. I found Nirvana Bleach on cassette, and this is relatively new. This is still like in the cellophane. Whenever I looked up the black cassette, everything was from like 2015 or 17, which is fine. I just wanted to have Bleach on cassette again. The next cassette that I have is the latest from our good friends in Cattle Decapitation. They released a yellow sparkle thing that you can see a picture of online because I am not opening this. But this is of the remastered audio that, again, would not have happened without my CD that came from my collection that I sent to Dave Otero to remaster. So had to have a copy on cassette because I have the other two copies. The other two copies on cassette so far, so I had to have the three to complete the trifecta. Moving on, whenever this band released their latest album on vinyl, they did 7 or 8 or 9 pressings, and one of the pressings was an indie retail exclusive, and I would not order it online. I refused to order it online. I wanted to go to a record store and find it, and in Chicago at Bucket of Blood Records, I found the retail copy of Cattle Decapitation Terracite on the Orange Blend, the Hadean Eon pressing that is still sealed and will most likely stay sealed, Nick. But yeah, I now have every copy of Terracite on vinyl, and I am very excited about this. Finally get to complete the collection. And I did it by finding it at a record store, not ordering it. So very pleased with myself there. Up next, Nick and I went to Rolling Stones Records in Chicago, and I picked up
that place. That was an awesome record store, by the way.
That was an awesome record store. Yeah, the aesthetic of the place was.
Shout out to the security guard in the mall who recommended that place.
Yeah, the guy that laughed at us whenever we were at the mall, like, "You're looking for a record store?"
Yeah.
These guys, they're not from around here. Rolling Stones Records in Chicago. I picked up a couple of 90s albums. That's where the Nirvana Bleach came from. This next album was also from the 90s. I picked up the expanded edition of the Mad Season album Above, the only album, the debut and the only album to come from Mad Season, which of course featured the late Lane Staley, Mike McCready, and it also featured Mark Lanigan on a few tracks. Great album. Great fucking album. I mean, Artificial Red, River of Deceit, I'm Above, Lifeless Dead, Long Gone Day. Just Mad Season, guys. I mean, come on.
Shout out Champ Morgan.
Shout out Champ Morgan. Champ always, yeah, that always makes me think of Champ. Speaking of Champ, hopefully you watch this show because you'll appreciate this. This next album is an album that I had on CD, and I was a big fan of it back in the day, especially since it kind of looked like a vinyl, the case for it and everything. Whenever we had Champ on the show a few episodes back, he was talking about his enthusiasm for Pearl Jam, and he recently went and saw Pearl Jam in concert, and he said that one of the songs that he was really wanting to hear live was Tremor Christ. And I was like, oh my God, Tremor Christ. I haven't heard this song in forever. And ever since then, like, I listened to it on Spotify, and I'm like, I have to own this on vinyl. This album is something that I absolutely have to have on vinyl, and I got it. I got it from Rolling Stones Records in Chicago. I've had a hard-on for this album for the last couple of months, and I really, I'm so excited that I finally found it. Last Exit, Spin the Black Circle, Not For You, Tremor Christ, Nothing Man, Bugs is a fun song. Better Man, Immortality, Hey Foxy, Mop Handle Mama, That's Me. Dude, this is whenever I fell out of Pearl Jam, and I don't want to hear it, Champ. You can text me or call me all you want, I don't care. Vitalogy, like the next one, No Code, I think, wasn't that what we agreed on? Had Do the Evolution. I think it was No Code. Whatever the next album was that had No Code, that was the last album that I really enjoyed from them. Vitalogy, great album. Up next from Bucket of Blood Records, this is another indie retail exclusive that I wanted to find in a record store, and I did. Pig Destroyer, Painter of Dead Girls, indie record store exclusive. This is translucent gold edition, limited to 150 copies. Whenever I got this, we got back to the hotel, I took a picture of it and sent it to Scott Hall, and he said, Jeff, you're my favorite person in the world, and I love you. If I wasn't married, I would bring you home. True story. Great pressing, gold pressing. This is my third or fourth copy of the represses. I also have the original, the OG clear pressings of Painter of Dead Girls, and blah, blah, blah. All right, up next is an album. This album is the very first CD I ever owned. Very first compact disc I ever owned. Back in the early 90s, I found a copy on some Instagram ad. It was some Instagram, like one of those stores that looks kind of like, should I order from this place? I'm not really sure if it's legit or whatever. Guns N' Roses, The Spaghetti Incident. The thing about this album, whenever you bring up Guns N' Roses, everybody talks about Appetite or Lies or The Use Your Illusions or even Chinese fucking Democracy. You bring up The Spaghetti Incident and people are like, what? You know, it was never really a very underrated release from Guns N' Roses. This is a bootleg from Europe, I believe, but it is orange colored to match, I guess, the color of the cover, I guess, the spaghetti colored. Had to have it. Had to have this on vinyl just because, like I said, of the nostalgia, the nostalgic very first CD I ever owned. Whenever Nick and I were talking about this, he said, oh yeah, I remember that CD. It looked like a record. I forgot about this fact. The original CD that I had is long gone. If it's not long gone, it's in a tub that's in my shed that's buried, and I'm not digging it out. So I got on Discogs and paid $7 to get another copy of this just for this show, to show the fact that this actual CD does in fact look like a record. What are the fucking chances of that? The very first CD I ever owned looks like a record. It was foreshadowing. It was meant to be.
Foreshadowing is the word I was going to use too.
It was meant to be. The very first CD I ever owned looks like a fucking record. This is basically it's cover songs. It's all cover songs, but it's so much fun. Since I don't have you down on the farm, which a lot of these I've never heard. I don't think I ever heard any of these before this. But Hair of the Dog I heard. Sorry, Nazareth, Hair of the Dog I've absolutely heard. You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory, Buick McCain, Big Dumb Sex, which is a Soundgarden cover. Ain't It Fun, Human Being, Down on the Fucking Farm, dude. It is such a good, it's a fun album. Moving on. From the same Instagram sketchy thing that I probably was leery about buying an album from, I bought fucking Sevendust. Home, the greatest album from Sevendust. I don't care. Argue with me all fucking day. First album was good. That's not Home. Animosity is good. Not Home. The quality of this is absolutely a bootleg. There was only one pressing of this album at all, ever. There was only one unofficial pressing, and this is it. And it is so bad. Like the quality of it is just, I mean, it's glitchy and just it's bad.
Oh, that sucks.
No, it's fine. The vinyl, immaculate. It sounds amazing. I can get over the way this looks. Mm-hmm. I wanted the sound quality to be great, and it is.
Oh, I thought you were saying the album, the record itself is all glitchy and chopped.
No. The cover, the artwork,
I got you. It's all pixelated and shit.
It's pixelated. That's what I was looking for.
Got you. I got you.
My favorite Sevendust album.
Cool. That's good to hear. That's good to know. That I was like, that really sucks that the fucking record was that the quality of this album. But that's good to know.
The audio was awesome. I took a gamble and I won.
Cool.
You know, I probably should save some of these for another episode, but I'm not. I'm just going to go ahead and do them all. Last week, my wife and I went to see the Carcass and Hatebreed tour, and I bought another copy of Carcass Torn Arteries. I got the yellow and black splatter vinyl, which is limited to 1,500. I think this was a European pressing, and bought it from the merch table for $35, and I have not opened it. This thing is heavy as fuck. It feels like there's seriously 6 records in it. And I don't remember my other copy being this involved. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna open this fuck. Because I forgot all about even owning this thing until we started doing this episode. Oh my God, these records are heavy. I want to see what this looks like. Kind of a cool record, and this is a 3-disc. That's probably why it's so heavy, is because there's 3 of these bastards in here, and they feel like they're 180 grams. That's a cool pressing.
Yeah, that one looks a lot better than the other one you just showed.
Yeah, that's 1 and 3, and this is number 2. 1 and 2 are kind of duds, but 3 is, man, that's a good looking record.
Yeah.
Good looking splatter for sure. The newest album from Carcass, Torn Arteries, is a ripper. Great album. This is my second pressing on vinyl. Dan Wilding, if you see this, please check your messages on Facebook. For God's sakes, get a hold of me. Fuck, you're hard to get a hold of. Up next. What?
Return my calls.
Call me. Answer my carrier pigeons. Harlequin, the new album from Lady Gaga. This is a companion album to the new movie, Joker Folie à Deux. Lady Gaga. I was so excited to have the album. And it's great. The songs are great. The songs remind me a lot of the trip that my wife and I took back in July to see her perform in Vegas. The songs are very reminiscent of that show. The songs from the movie are very, very along the same lines of the performance that we saw. New album from Lady Gaga. I don't want to talk about the movie. I don't want to talk about any of that shit. Up next, Today is the Day was having a sale a couple of weeks back. I think it was a holiday sale, it's Memorial Day, or I forget what the sale was for. For $20, I bought the self-titled album from Today is the Day on vinyl, and I have to show this thing. This pressing is amazing, kids. All right, this pressing, I should probably like turn my lights off just to make sure you get the full effect of this. So this thing is incredible. It's like a smoke. I don't even have a hype sticker to say what the actual pressing is. $20, well worth every fucking penny to own the self-titled album from Today is the Day. Big Today is the Day fan. Love Kiss the Pig and The Eyes of God and just so many albums from Today is the Day. Stoked to have this on vinyl. What's up next? A couple weeks back, my wife and I went to see The Substance in theaters, and we went to Hit Records in Columbia. Shout out to Hit Records. Love those guys. Found a copy of one of my, I guess I consider this a guilty pleasure. I love this album. I don't care. I love this album. Gin Blossoms, A New Musical Experience. This album has a lot of memories for me. The songs are great. The songs are absolutely great. I love basically all of these songs. I owned this on CD as a teenager. Saw it, grabbed it, don't regret it. Gin Blossoms. And finally, 2 hours later, we are at the end of the new vinyl releases for Jeff Grindstoffer. The Dying Fetus demos released by Jason Netherton on his help me out here. What's Profane Tomes. This is the very first pressing from Jason Netherton's own Profane Tomes label. These are the Dying Fetus demos. I believe these are original. They're the original recordings, right?
Yes.
Or I don't know if they were remastered or what, but yeah, the original Dying Fetus demo, 5 tracks. Eviscerated Offspring, Your Blood is My Wine, and The Weak Shall Be Crushed. Visualize Permanent Damnation, and Purged of My Worldly Being. Back whenever Jason was one of the founding members of Dying Fetus. And yeah, this album is yours. To have this, look at that, dude. They're kids. Look at old Babyface Netherton right there, dude. Look at that. 1994 Dying Fetus. This is a one-sided vinyl. You talked about this a couple episodes back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I won't go too into detail, but yeah, there we are. Finally, I've been waiting to do a new episode or a new vinyl segment, because I knew it would take a while, and it was like every time we went somewhere and I got new records, like, God damn, we need to do an episode quick, dude, because I got like a collection now. But
yeah, hell yeah.
There you go. All new records.
Shout out to Buckets of Blood and Rolling Stones. Those are the 2 stores we hit in Chicago. And shout out to the 2 guys at Buckets of Blood that were. What did he say when they were marking down the records about Painter of Dead Girls?
I put Painter of Dead Girls on the counter, and the guy, like, he rang up, he wrote down Terrorsight, and the one guy that was like ringing everything up, he goes, what's that Pig Destroyer album called? And he goes, Painter of Dead Girls, and he goes, that's real subtle. Like, dude, your fucking record store is called Bucket of Blood. You figured he would be more prone to, shit like this going through your store.
Yeah.
Buckets of Blood, Painter of Dead Girls. You'd be like, oh, that fits the aesthetic perfectly. Of course we sell Painter of Dead Girls.
Their metal section was definitely their second biggest record section in there. So, like, I can't believe they're not, like, used to seeing weird stuff like that in a store called Buckets of Blood.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was funny. I liked that.
It was funny.
All right, moving on. I got a couple to talk about here. First and foremost, this came in a while back. This is a black metal band that I saw a couple years ago at Maryland Death Fest And the only reason I paid attention to him, my good buddy, Handsome Dan Gargilio. I'm butchering his poor last name. I'm sorry, Dan. You know I love you, brother. There's a band called Spite that he played in. They're from Brooklyn. This is their new album, The Third Temple. This is really obscure black metal because it doesn't sound like most black metal that you listen to. It's pressed on double white vinyl. Invictus Records put this out. But yeah, I bought this and I told Dan, I was like, man, you're pretty busy this year. You put out this and what was the other one? Dreamless Veil. He said a guy named Jesse pretty much wrote and recorded all this music. Dan just is a touring guitarist for this band. But this is a cool record. Anything that Dan does, I'll support, even though he's not getting any coin on this, only on the live shows. But I saw this band live twice now, and they intrigued me, so I will buy their music. If you've never heard of them, check them out. They are a very unique black metal band. I'm not referring to the deathcore band. This is the one that actually sounds good. They're called Spite. I shouldn't talk shit. That other band probably sounds really good too. I'm sure they're very popular.
They're one of our fans, damn it.
Yeah, I probably do. They are probably a good band. I've never listened to them. I'm just talking shit for no reason. The next record I got, surprise, surprise, Painter of Dead Girls re-release. A particular member of Pig Destroyer stopped by my house a few days ago and dropped this clear pressing off for me. Look at that.
Nice.
Mr. Grindstoffer showed his off a few weeks ago, but yeah, I got one too now, pal. What's up, friend and family? What? All that good shit. He knows. He knows. He's upset. No, this is awesome. Thank you very much, Alex Cha. Great stuff here. One of our Vinyl Bang buddies. Next record, Umbra Vitae, Shadow of Life. This is the debut album by that band that our past guest, Mr. Gunface, is on. This features quite a few people. Hold on.
Charn's on that record.
Let's see. Yes, Jacob Bannon on vocals, Jacob Bannon of Converge, Mike McKenzie, Mr. Gunface on guitar and vocals, Sean Martin of Hatebreed, I believe. Was he on? He's not in Hatebreed anymore. I think now he's in.
He was formerly of Hatebreed, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the other band he was in that I've seen a bunch of times. He plays guitars and vocals. Greg Weeks of the Red Chord is on bass, and yes, John Sharn Rice on drums on this record. This record, I can't remember what year this came out, but I remember missing out on it, and then I bought a copy after we did our episode with Gunface, and it's a pretty cool looking record.
I forgot Greg was in that fucking band too, man. That's wow.
And they actually have a new album out, and I slept on that, so I got to get my hands on that as well. I do, much like Mr. Grindstoffer, I do like to support our friends and the records they put out. I'm not as hip to everything because I'm not on the internet all day, but Jeff is fortunate enough to get stuff quicker than I am somehow. I'm not saying he's on the internet all day, but somehow he gets his hands on shit. All right, I got one more to talk about, and I've been saving this one for you, Mr. Grindstoffer. You hear me?
I hear you.
Listening?
I
believe you just called me out a little bit during your new shit, how this album's going to stay shielded and it's going to stay that way. Well, guess what, buddy? Guess what Mr. Martin got his hands on?
Are you fucking serious, dude? Yes! Number 22.
I had a conversation with Travis last night, and I was like, I'm gonna break this out in the next episode I do with Jeff. And he goes, why does he not open his records? And I'm like, do you not know this man? Yeah.
Is it sealed?
Guess what's about to happen, my friend?
Oh no, dude! I am so happy for you. I'm glad you got that, Nick.
Yeah, this is the Trash Explosion. This is not the rarest record that they put out, but this is by far the most expensive record that they put out, only because of how fucking awesome this record looks.
The pressing of that amazing, dude.
We just did
happy for you.
We just did an episode with our good pal Scott McKenzie, and I know Scott has one, and I'm pretty sure his is going to stay sealed as well. Thank you very much. I'm not going to discuss how much I paid for this record. Just know it was a lot.
I remember.
Here we go.
There we go,
right.
dude.
All right, folks.
Hold on. Dude, that is so fucking rad.
I'm extremely happy to have this. This is probably my favorite Cattle Decapitation album. I'm very happy. I don't own every pressing. I own a lot of the cool looking ones. I know me and Travis talked about on his episode the billion. What is it called? That pressing.
7 parts per billion.
That's by far one of my favorites, just because of the sparkles in there. That is my favorite because of the sparkles in there. This one is awesome. This is a close second. I'm glad I scored one. I scored number 22. I can't believe this guy said it was sealed. Look at that shit, guys. I mean, holy fuck. I think you, Sean Shanks, maybe Dylan and Scott and Travis are the only people I know. And now Metal Nick owns one. Yeah.
One of us.
This showed up in the mail yesterday when I was sitting at the airport waiting to come home, and I looked to the tracker and I saw it, and I was just like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Rad. That's rad.
Sweating hard, and yeah, I'm fucking excited as shit right now, dude. Because I'm gonna have to find a way to peel this sticker off cleanly and throw it on the sleeve. But yeah, how about that 22? I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, ooh, I'm tempted to wait to ask Jeff what his number is again, because that's rad.
I forget what number mine is.
But yeah,
I'm gonna have to edit this part. I have to go look, dude. I'm so happy for you.
We can do it after the show, but yeah, no, thank you. I'm very stoked. It's really like it's one of my bucket list records. There's still a couple on there that I want, but like as far as Cattle Decapitation, I own practically everything that I want to own of theirs. That was one thing that I'm like really in the hunt for. Like I know, like I said, we get a heads up, and we get a bit of a this is coming, by the way, from Travis, and I appreciate that more than anything, because like some of these records, like I have to pass up on. I'm like, that doesn't look cool enough to add to my collection. A lot of those Nessie ones, those are fucking beautiful. I'm jealous of what you and both you and Scott own, because those are just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal thing to have in your collection. That one right there is like the one that, like, hard to say. It was available online. It was expensive. I don't give a fuck. I had the money. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm pulling the trigger here, because nice. And it was definitely a nice record to break open on our show, because that's what we give you folks here, quality shit like that.
That's what Nick gives you, because I don't open my shit. Sometimes I do, but yeah, that one I'm not opening.
You did open that Carcass record a little bit ago, so yeah. But there you go, folks. Once again, before we end this episode, we have to give another shout out to Pig Destroyer, Red Cord. See you next Tuesday. All the people that were involved in this tour over this past weekend, just a phenomenal fucking time. I shout out to Genocide Pack. They came up from DC to play, or Maryland to play. So did Noisem. Good friends of ours, good friends of mine. I just love and respect all those bands. This past weekend was just so much fucking fun, and I cannot wait to see what we're going to do next year, man. Because Seattle, we got to go to do something in Seattle. That's the plan.
Yeah.
But
that's the plan. Real quick, I have to show this, because I don't know what it's for. I don't know why this is a thing, but this is one of the cool things that I got from this weekend. It's a Pig Destroyer Terrifier promotional hammer. I don't know what the hell this thing is supposed to be for, but I saw it behind the merch table before the doors opened at Reggie's, and our good friend, our Ghost Rider, Alex Shaw, he said, "Here, take this and take it out to your car right now before you get mugged." And yeah, I don't know what this is for, but this is awesome to have. A little foam hammer.
Oh yeah. But there you go, folks. Thank you again to everybody for tuning in this week and listening and watching, however you choose to watch our show. Thank you, Jeff, again for this awesome past weekend.
Dude, it was so much fun, dude. It was great. Always being in your presence is always fun. It is. It truly is, and getting to experience the whole weekend with you and do Chicago and traveling and seeing all these bands and everything. It was a fun weekend. Really,
I appreciate it. I can't wait the next time that I get to drive you around. That's going to be fun for sure.
Me too.
All right. Well, thank you again, everybody, and we will see you all next week.
Yep. All right. See you guys.